Morning. I'm just going to do this little video, just a slide video, just to show you what you can actually get when you subscribe to my lessons. There are over 300 of them with all sorts of varieties. So I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to go straight into it, follow it through, and then see what you think. So we've got all these lessons here, and it's basically we've done over 300 in the last 3 years since COVID hit. Before that, we were doing proper art classes in our gallery. Have a look and follow this through and see what you think about them. All these videos are at least 2 hours long, with a lot of them actually over 4 hours. We've got pen and ink washes, we've got watercolours, we've got pastels, acrylics. I cover it all, mainly watercolours, but we do cover most mediums and a lot of different subjects. This is just a sample taken from a watercolour we did of a street scene in Paris, like a wet it out, so it's quite strong coming along here from that side. Just keep adding your colours. This took around about 2 hours to complete. This has to be done on a quick go so it doesn't dry out on you, so you're getting a strong dark. And it's got to look as though maybe it's so yeah, it's about 2 hours long. So, but we've done lots. So if you want to see how many lessons you can do and the variety, just sort of have a look here. This is about 15 or 16 of them. But when you realise there's over 300 lessons, then you know you're going to have a great painting experience. So we've got plenty of street scenes, watercolours, wildlife, penguins. Not very often you get to paint penguins. Venice, buskers, even portraits. There's David Bowie, a portrait. And a lot of the scenes, a lot of the pictures are actually, some of my art class people say, well, can we paint this next week, paint that next week? So that's how we end up working. I let them suggest what they want, and then I ignore them. But we do paint plenty of the pictures that they do want to actually see. So there's that's about 15 or 16, there's over 300. So this one's it's a pen and ink. What we've actually done here is done a pen and ink drawing and then finished it with a nice delicate watercolour wash. So you can see me working there. There's no voiceover because I've blanked the voice out for the moment. But you can see the finished result on the right hand side. And that's about 20 by 16 inches. So we tend to work in them sort of sizes, some smaller, some bigger, but mainly around that size. And this is just some of the class. When we had the class, the gallery's still there. It's just now it's a gallery, turned completely gallery. This is the upstairs, and this is some of the art class members. We used to have like 3 classes a week with 12 people in each class. So we had 3 sessions of 12 people each time. And these people on the right, most of these have actually won prizes at art exhibitions, etc. First, second, and third. In fact, the lad on the left, I think, has won first, second, and third a few times, and that's me in the middle. Just thought you'd like to see me. Obviously smaller than the rest of them, and they still pop in. They still pop into the gallery, the local one. I mean, I have people from farther afield, so and in the country, so they can't pop in. These do, and they're quite hilarious when they do come in. I'll tell you. So as well as all the landscapes, etc., we delve into other subjects, such as the pastel elephant that you can see, and the geese using coloured pencils. The one on the left is sort of an example of a Chinese watercolour, really, with the blossom and stuff. But we do cover lots of subjects and just try everything. Whatever people suggest, we have a go at. And just to prove it, here's some aeroplane paintings. I've got a mixture of people. There's women and men in the class, so we get suggestions and requests of all sorts to paint. So this was a Lancaster bomber, and then we did the Spitfire and the Hurricane in watercolours with all the crew. They were actually nice. I enjoyed doing them. So they'll just tittle off now. Well, there they go. And we do lots of Mediterranean scenes. We do plenty of traditional UK scenes with snow scenes and street scenes. But we also do lots of the different countries, places where I visited. These are Corfu. I was in Corfu a couple of years ago, and I took these photographs, so we did these paintings back. But we do other countries, USA, Paris a lot, Venice. Venice seems to be a popular scene that people like. So a nice Mediterranean sunshine. And of course, sunsets. People like sunsets. I mean, it's just the colours, I think. We enjoy them. But I do winter scenes, so you can learn how about painting snow, how to paint snow, etc. The tip about painting snow is basically you don't need any white paint. You just leave the paper blank. That's all it is. And pen and ink. Well, I've told you about the pen and ink, but these two here, they're quite detailed. The one on the left is Doc Martin's cottage from the TV series, and that was about 16 inches by 12, the actual draw. So it took well over 3 hours to draw that. The one on the right is a Venice scene from a photograph I took of Venice. Now that was more quirky. We basically just drew that in quite quickly, quite loose. They look great in black and white, but then just wait until we float colour into them. And there you go. They look fabulous when they're done like that. I mean, the colours, the one on the right, the Venice one, the colours were just very loosely washed in. The main thing to remember, though, is you need to use waterproof ink. No matter how many times I tell people, you need to make sure you're using waterproof ink. One member didn't. When he finished, he said it was the best abstract he'd ever done after he'd run the watercolour in. It just floated all over the place. And then these figures. We cover figures. We've got to cover figures because you're doing street scenes in a lot of places, so you need figures in the streets. So you need to know how to paint them. And some of the figures we do in street scenes are just flicks, just quick suggestions and work. And some are stronger, more portraits, such as the buskers and children playing around. So we cover figures quite a lot as well. And this basically last demonstration. This is stairs. I actually did this in our gallery, so it's different. Normally it fills the full screen, but this was done in the gallery with people stood in the gallery behind me watching me do it. It was a very quick, loose watercolour, wet in wet, so it just sort of worked very fast. So I demonstrated wet in wet and just putting the background hill in. Now it looks strong, but the paper is wet. The paint going on is wet, so when it's actually dries out, you'll see that it's a lot paler. Use a big brush, and the wet in wet, I do like them because I find that they have a nice finish. They're just delicate but quick and loose, and rather than just a photographic scene, they come out really nice. And that's the finished watercolour. You can see that the back has dried out a little bit. As it's dried out, it's paled down, but it's kept that haziness to it. And by contrasting the foreground quite dark, we get a nice painting there. This took about an hour to go. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the introduction and that it's inspired you to immerse yourself into the art classes and start producing some great paintings of yourself. All 300 videos are £10 a month. £10, that's all it is, just to cost you to get that. So click that subscribe button right now and join us. And I'll see you in the classes. Bye bye.